Hi guys, Gretchen here. So we were supposed to do the floral energetics today and mushrooms, and I said we're supposed to. You heard that correctly. We're not doing the floral energetics today. I am going to put a link down below linking you to the entire podcast that I've already recorded for the Edward Bach series. And in a couple of days, we'll discuss how to make your own personalized floral energetics. How does that sound? So since I've already recorded those, link below, watch them at your own leisure. Um, and also, in the next few days, when you're out and about, kind of like just check out areas that you feel like really calm and stuff at and see if you can notice like what plants are around and if there's like a similarity in plants. We are going to talk about 3 different mushrooms. We're going to talk about mushrooms again tomorrow, but we're going to talk about 3 different mushrooms today. These mushrooms are going to do really great things for your body and for healing your systems out of trauma, like physically healing your systems. So we're not going to talk about the types of mushrooms. I'm going to throw this disclaimer out there. I am a certified master herbalist. I am not a doctor. Do not take this as medical advice. This is simply information from me to you, boo. I'm not responsible for what you do with this information. It's just an informative video. That's all. So we're going to start with Agarikon. Agarikon is one of the most medicinal mushrooms in the world. Agarikon is not super heard of. Agarikon grows in old growth forest, which is why it's not super popular in the States because we like to chop down everything. Literally, lumberjacks used to seek out the trees that had the Agarikon growth on it and chop them down thinking that they were a parasitic mushroom. They're not a parasitic mushroom. They don't kill the tree. They don't grow on dead trees. They have a symbiotic relationship with the trees, giving each other nutrients and giving each other what they need. The mushroom itself can grow to be hundreds and hundreds of years old. And please, when you are foraging mushrooms, make sure that you have books and do all your double and triple checks because their lookalikes will kill you. And when you forage, never take more than a third so that the mushroom will continue to grow and be there for you to forage going further. So this mushroom can grow to be hundreds and hundreds of years old. It grows on old growth trees. What I mean by old growth trees are trees that are at least 70 years old. So those 70-year-old trees will be definitely very necessary. So if you're hiking and looking for it, you're going to have to look in the old growth areas or go further into the forest where the loggers have not been yet. Oh, there were cave paintings of this bad boy. There were cave paintings of this all over the place. They would show, they would depict a man with mushrooms around him and kind of show people the area where they could find this mushroom to cure themselves of all that be. So Agarikon, all mushrooms have also what's in it called beta-glucans. So beta-glucans are complex carbohydrates. They will give you slow amounts of energy all through the day, one of the best side effects, right? The side effects on this is you get extra energy from the complex carbs. This one is recommended that you get 2 grams a day unless you're recovering from a big illness. Then it's 4 grams a day. This can be used for detoxifying things. Like I began to say, it is a phase 2. I have a hair in my mouth. A phase 2 liver cleanser. Your liver has about 10,000 little holes for things to come into and about 10 for it to come out of. So it needs a little help detoxifying, right? And your liver detoxifies your blood. So if there's a backup in your liver, there's a backup in your blood. And you don't want toxins to build up in your blood, do you? And there's going to be a buildup in your gut. The Agarikon, what it does is it allows the microbiome, the good microbiome, that good gut bacteria to regrow in your gut and restructuring that. It cleanses your blood and it cleanses your kidneys. It cleanses your liver. It really, really helps with that liver. It does such a great effect. Back in the day, kings and queens, when they traveled, they would travel with Agarikon, and if they got sick or poisoned, they would use the Agarikon to recover. There was somebody who got a patent on Agarikon, and then that patent got classified by the Department of Defense. This is hearsay, so I'm sure you can find some links to this because, you know, in every story there is a grain of truth, right? So it has been shown to historically eliminate Lyme disease, Epstein-Barr, Ebola, herpes 1 and 2, hepatitis, H1N1, H5N1, bird and swine flu, yellow fever, tuberculosis, just to name a few. It does really, they feel that it's probably going to be super effective against bioweapons. So Agarikon is something that you're going to want to keep in your medicinal arsenal, especially if you're recovering from big badass diseases like cancer, liver disease, kidney disease, that type of stuff. Toxins can build up. We went through that. It is a little difficult to find. Just to maintain health, I would say about 2 grams a day. And after, you know, if you just keep it in your body, if you're fighting cancer, if you're fighting liver disease, fatty, alcoholic and non-alcoholic liver disease, or any of those things too, 4 grams a day for this bad boy. Yeah, and measure it on a scale, grams a day, literally. There is you will not overdose. So if you eat too many, it's okay. You won't overdose. You're not going to get sick. You're not going to get any of that. And there are no contraindications with medicines. It might lower your blood sugar a little bit. If you're under diabetic care, please talk to your doctor. It hasn't been shown to, but it is a mushroom, and those beta-glucans and those complex carbs, they all have just a slight chance with the blood sugars being lowered. So this one not only detoxifies your blood, your liver, and helps rebuild your gut. This one is an amazing one for bringing a lot of those body systems that were traumatized during your PTSD, during your CPTSD, just during your traumatic events, or even maybe just during life. You know, you had like things going on. And keep in mind that Agarikon, even if you don't have any of these things going on, Agarikon is a great way to clean your system because, as I said, your liver has about 10,000 things going in to filter the toxins in, about 10 coming out. Those toxins will build up in your liver, they'll build up in your blood, and if they don't have anywhere to go, they can erupt through your skin, they can turn into tumors, they can turn into cancer, so we can just get rid of those toxins, take, you know, a few grams of Agarikon for like a month or so and do a big cleanup. And this is what people don't consider. These invasive herbs and these mushrooms, right? These invasive herbs like kudzu and Japanese knotweed, I mean, you see them growing everywhere and they grow really fast. What you don't understand is what they're doing is cleansing the soil. They're pulling the heavy metals and the toxins out of the soil. They're cleaning the earth. Your body is very similar to the earth. What they do for the earth, they're going to do for you. So the kudzu and the Japanese knotweed, when they pull those toxins out like they do with the earth, they'll pull those toxins out of you. Keeping that information in mind, if you're foraging your mushrooms or you're foraging your invasive herbal medicine, if it's growing really fast, it's cleaning toxins out of the soil, and you don't want to eat that stuff. You want stuff that's going slow because there's not really toxins there for it to grow out of. And then that being said, when you're foraging Japanese knotweed, make sure to protect yourself from ticks. Although Japanese knotweed is great for helping with Lyme disease, the ticks love to live there too. So make sure you guard yourself from that. And kudzu is an amazing one. We'll get to that, not in this video. We'll get further into that one. But you guys know I do love that kudzu for the non-drinking. That's one of my most popular videos, if not my most popular video. The next mushroom, because there are going to be 3 today, this is number 2, is going to be chaga. So chaga is actually a crust fungus. It almost exclusively grows on birch trees. So if you see that big burly thing, that big burl, that big knot, that tumor-looking thing on your tree, and it's not a birch tree, it's probably not chaga. Chaga is over-harvested, so this is definitely one of the ones that when you're harvesting and foraging, please only take 1/3 of so that it can continue to grow and medicate future generations. Siberian indigenous were the ones that originally kind of brought this to our attention. What they would do is they would burn a chunk of chaga, drop it in water, and they would wash their newborn babies and the mother's vaginas with this to keep bacterial growth at bay. It would keep their children very healthy and happy. Some of the more unique features of chaga is it does DNA repair. It's huge in antioxidants. It does give you the energy like the other mushrooms because it's high in beta glucans, that complex carb, so it releases the energy as you need it. It's a beautiful caffeine-free alternative to coffee. Go 1-to-1 on that ratio for that. If you use like 3 scoops of coffee, use 3 scoops of chaga. It will give you that beautiful burst of energy, but it'll do it throughout the day. Caffeine works with the adrenals, which are the hormone producing centers that sit on your kidneys, and they squish out that big burst of energy, whereas chaga feeds those adrenals, so they have this beautiful secretion of energy into your body all day instead of this big force. I'm energy, I'm energy, I'm energy. I'm so tired. Where chaga's like, yes, I'm good all day. I'm going to keep this beautiful level of energy and get through my day because it feeds the hormone system instead of depletes the hormone system. It also, like I did say, one of the things is it does DNA repair. So DNA repair, you have to keep in mind, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, we did not have the environmental toxins we have today. Our bodies weren't being onslaughted with the genetically modified foods, the toxins that come in the byproducts of vaccines. I'm not saying don't vaccinate, don't send me a bunch of hater mail, haterade. I'm saying that your body pays for this in the form of DNA disrepair or DNA unraveling. So those DNA start to unravel and they get capped off, which makes it more difficult to replicate and a lot more difficult to repair. So chaga feeds the adrenals and it feeds the hormone, which are the hormone things on the back of the kidneys. It's an adaptogenic, and it nourishes your body. And also, in nourishing those adrenals, it allows those stress hormones to not continue to overproduce, so that when you're in times of like high stress or like your boss yells at you out of the random or whatever, you're just like, okay, cool, and then you just address it like that instead of and then responding like whatever way you respond. I usually get very defensive, or I used to get very defensive, like, oh, what do you mean? No, I did my best, I was right. So this helps you not do that and be like, okay, cool, whatever, I'll fix it however you want. Help not react as you normally would. Really just did that. Fixes your gut health. It won't come out through your skin. We talked about this a little bit with the first one because this is also a phase 2 detoxifier. This one boosts your bowel and your liver health as well as repairs that gut biome. One of the side effects is it enhances that lung health, and when taken with reishi and cordyceps, really, really enhance that lung health. So if you are like an over smoker, or if you're trying to quit smoking and you're using Mullein to quit smoking, add some chaga, cordyceps, and reishi. Don't add them to your smokables, but add them to your drinkables to do that lung health and that lung repair to it. And we'll get some of those other systems going, right? Awesome sauce. So we are up to our last mushroom. Thanks for hanging with me, guys. I appreciate it. I know you got other things to do, but I know you also want to heal. And this information is really cool. So cordyceps is going to be the last one. Cordyceps, the way they happen in nature is the spores land on an insect. It buries itself into the insect's skin. Then it moves the insect's brain where it wants to, and it kind of takes over and colonizes this insect. Most likely you are eating cordyceps that have been colonized on rice, other substrates, not caterpillars and worms and such. Those are the ones that grow in the Himalayas, the original ones. So there are no toxic amounts of any of the 3 mushrooms we are discussing today. Cordyceps, the way that it came to light, came to popularity worldwide, this big popularity was during the Olympics when they were in China in 1984. The Chinese female runners were like kicking ass. They were taking names, kicking ass, taking home all the medals, and people were like, they're doping, they're doping, they're doping. They were not doping. They were taking cordyceps. Cordyceps, again with the beta glucans, okay? But cordyceps has the amazing energy aspect of it. It enables your blood to become more oxygenated. So with more oxygen in the blood, the lactic acid doesn't have time to build up, so that you don't get the cramps that you get after running a race. You have more stamina, you have more durability. It's what people take before they change altitudes when they go mountain hiking or scuba diving, when they're changing different levels and they need to keep the oxygen levels in their blood really, really saturated. And it gets that blood moving faster. I'm not sure if this one is also a phase 2. This one, however, because of the way that it oxygenates the blood, it's really great for athletes. Really great for athletes. If you're having a problem with your libido, it's great for your libido because of the oxygenation in the blood. You see where I'm going with this, right? Blood, oxygenation, erect penis, it helps with that. And this is the one that we did recommend with the chaga and the reishi for the people who have lung problems. I am not saying this, again, I'm not a doctor, but there have been studies and have been other people who have medicated themselves under the guise of under the guidance of a doctor that have been able to ditch their inhalers with this. When you build up the cordyceps in your system after about 4 to 6 weeks, your body starts building these natural killer cells. So these natural killer cells, when a big virus starts to hit your body, they're like, bitch, bye. And it just gets rid of it. Like, think the old asteroids going, beep, 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 pew, pew, pew. And then, that's what the natural killer cells do. And boom, 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 they're all gone, right? Oh, this one with the energy, because everybody's looking for that little extra boost of energy. Will build up in your system, will give you that energy on a daily basis. If you have something that you need extra stamina on, if you take like 1 level teaspoon, or approximately 2 grams of this, yeah, about 2 grams, I would just say 1 level teaspoon or 1 capsule of the cordyceps will give you about 6 hours of like solid balls to the wall energy. Yeah, because I know sometimes that's necessary. And I know we do, you've probably switched from like Red Bull to one of the nicer energy drinks like Sambazon, which has guarana root in it. But cordyceps is even better than guarana root because cordyceps gives you that energy without that caffeine affecting your body, without your caffeine affecting the adrenals. So anyway, these are 3 really great mushrooms to not only fix that gut so that we don't keep feeding into that brain and don't keep that cyclical trauma cycle going with those hormones overproducing, the gut saying, hey, we're under stress, da, 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 now you're going to be under stress, or the brain going, hey, we're under stress, let's mess up the belly. So these are all really great. The first one especially, Agarikon, I highly recommend that you check more into that bad boy, especially if you have had like lifetimes of trauma. If you started off your trauma in early childhood, those will really help clean out your system. Plus, I just recommend sometimes just doing a mushroom cleanse, like add the Om Master Blend to your smoothies every single day for 4 weeks just to clean your system. Like we were talking about the kudzu and the Japanese knotweed and the mushrooms do for the earth. They do that for your system. And keep that in mind. Also, when you're foraging, stay out of old apple orchards and such, because DDT, they suck that up. They're sucking that up. You don't want to eat that. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Join me tomorrow for more mushrooms. Yes, we're doing more mushrooms tomorrow. We will be doing lion's mane and some of its lookalikes, some of which are more tasty and more medicinal, none of which are fatal. So we'll be hitting up lion's mane, maitake, and reishi, lion's mane, maitake, and portobello tomorrow. Until then, hit that subscribe button for me, and I do go live for members only every single Sunday. I will see you guys mañana. Namaste.